Good morning. Welcome and welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Monday, February the 26th. This is the last few days of February, if you can believe it. That's crazy. But here we are, and each week there are new releases of books to look at that are being set into the wild, and we must look at them as much as possible, all of them. And on each day of the week, we look at a different genre. Today we will be looking at cozy mysteries-ish things. And tomorrow we'll be looking at regular mysteries and thrillers. Wednesdays we'll look at romance. Thursdays, fantasy and science fiction. Fridays we'll just kind of continue with the leftovers. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Mine was pretty okay. Did a lot of crocheting. Not necessarily making progress in each project, but starting a couple other projects and testing out other things. So that was very productive. And still reading The Princes in the Tower by Philippa Langley, a nonfiction, really liking it. She's treating the missing princes of King Richard's reign as a cold case, which I really enjoy. Also reading Wicked Autumn by G.M. Mallier, I'm going to say. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation. All right. Let's see what we can see here. Oh, quick announcements. I do not have sprints tonight, not on Monday nights. If you do want to do some sprinting, tonight they'll be on Storm's channel, Storm Reads. Tomorrow is when I do my sprints, Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 6:05 Mountain Time and Saturday afternoons at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. Now this one I am absolutely excited about. I've already ordered it. As you can see, love this series if you like historical mysteries. They're not huge, but I love them. I don't know, when you get that series, like, where was I? Why did it take me so long? This one is fourth in the series, and you should read them in order. This is A Gentleman in Pursuit of Truth. A dogged investigation. Lord Julian Callicott is summoned to the country home of a family friend to search for a prize foxhound who's gone missing. The purloined canine turns out to be only the tale of a series of puzzles involving family secrets, slander, blackmail, and fraud. Matters grow more baffling when Julian is told to drop the investigation. Though suspects abound, motives are multiplying, and a large sum of money has come into play. Hounded by lies. Julian survives an attempt on his life and endures slights to his honor rather than give up on his objective. Before the truth is revealed and the hound brought safely home, he will have to choose between protecting his only surviving brother from ruin or allowing a scoundrel to get away with the next thing to murder. This is set during Regency. He has suffered as a prisoner of war during the war with Napoleon. And it's deeper than what it sounds like here, but really enjoyed that series. Kim says, good morning, Mary. I'm back. Good morning. Hope all is going great. Hope all is with you, and hope Bob is doing okay. Kim said, I started rereading the Valentine's Day Murder for 3 February prompts. I had forgotten the Christine Bennett series by Lee Harris. Isn't that kind of nice? When you can go back and go, oh yeah, that series. I do that a lot. I'm glad you are back, Mary. We've missed you. Okay, I'm just closing some tabs here. A Lady's Guide to Marvels and Misadventure by Angela Bell. London, 1860. When Clara's ex-fiancé begins to spread rumors that her family suffers from hereditary insanity, it's all she can do to protect them from his desperate schemes, society's prejudice, and a lifetime in an asylum. Then Clara's grandfather, Drosselmeyer, brings on an apprentice with a mechanic leg, and all pretense of normalcy takes wing. Theodore Kingsley, a shame-chased vagabond haunted by the war, wants a fresh start far from Kingsley Court and the disappointed father who declared him dead. Upon returning to England, Theodore meets clockmaker Drosselmeyer, who hires him as an apprentice, much to Clara's dismay. When Drosselmeyer spontaneously disappears in his secret flying owl machine, he leaves behind a note for Clara, beseeching her to make her dreams of adventure a reality by joining him on a merry scavenger hunt across Europe. Together, Clara and Theodore set off to follow Drosselmeyer's trail of clues, but they will have to stay one step ahead of a villain who wants the flying machine for himself at any cost. I would say that's more fantasy than mystery. Missed you all as well. California time is not conducive to early mornings. Very true. Bob is doing much better, not healed, but not in as much pain as before. We know what the problem is. So that helps. It helps. Sometimes you can't solve it. A Lark's Conceit by Lynn Messina, third in the Verity Lark Mysteries. Verity Lark is in a new flap. Bedeviled by Coulson Hardwick's treatment, summarily dumping her via tersely worded message, Verity Lake is lying awake in her bed, seething over his behavior when she hears a floorboard creak. Immediately alert to the presence of a late-night intruder, she deftly thwarts the attack. Taking her would-be kidnapper captive is easy. Figuring out what he wants with her, well, that part is tricky, and she wonders if it could have something to do with one of her many alter egos. It is baffling, to be sure, but Verity has a plan. Of course she does. As England's most tenacious gossip and the London Daily Gazette's most dogged reporter, she always has a scheme afoot, and this time it entails allowing her captive to escape so she can follow him. It's the best way to discover what the devil is going on. The ploy works exactly as intended, which is good, but also bad because the more she knows, the less she understands. Somehow, she's at the center of an elaborate plot involving the French embassy, an English spy, and a ghastly murder. And just as she's trying to come up with a way to save herself, Hardwick turns up to complicate it all. That's a pretty cover, though. I like the colors. Not something that you usually see in a historical mystery. Crime and Cherry Pits. I've been so excited I haven't even checked dates. This was last week. I thought so. I thought it sounded familiar. Ah, those creaking floorboards. Absolutely. Kim says, good to hear, Mary. Knowing what you're dealing with always helps. And how have you been, Kim? Know you've had some challenges as well. Yeah, you're all that testing. Oof. Double scoop of murder. This is third in the Coffee and Cream Cafe Mysteries by Lena Gregory, or Lena. Danica Delaney is loving running her uncle's old-fashioned malt shop on eastern Long Island and putting her own modern spin on the treats they serve. Life is finally looking up for her, that is, until local billionaire Maxwell Krumholtz dies, well, with that name, of course he's going to, and leaves his fortune in the form of a treasure hunt. Chaos descends on Wachak, and Danny and the rest of the gang from the Coffee and Cream Cafe join the melee when they enter the contest, try to decipher the clues, and go in search of the treasure. But Danny digs up more than she expected when she discovers a dead body buried instead of a treasure. Wah, wah. To make matters worse, a witness claims to have seen Danny at the scene of the murder. Well, yeah, because she found it. Now, instead of $4 billion payday, Danny is on the hunt for a killer. That's an interesting concept. X's, X's, and Codexes by Colleen Gleason, fourth in the Three Tomes Bookshop series. Now that's a very pretty cover. Jacqueline Finch's lovely little bookstore is a special one. Not only is it brimming with books and has a cozy tea shop, but it comes staffed with two very unique employees. Mrs. Hudson, Sherlock Holmes's landlady, and Mrs. Danvers, the creepy and disagreeable housekeeper from Rebecca. Despite the fact that other literary characters tend to pop out of books on a daily basis, Jacqueline loves her life, running the bookshop and hanging out with her two new friends. She even enjoys the three old ladies who live at the end of the street and who are most definitively witches, which sometimes comes in handy. But just when a holiday weekend and the beginning of tourist season commences, Jacqueline discovers that someone has been breaking into the shop at night. All evidence is that they're trying some sort of conjuring or witchcraftery in her store, and that worries her. But things get a little more tense and confusing when Jacqueline's ex-fiancé shows up in town wanting to make amends. This could put a real damper on her budding romance with the town detective. Yet Jacqueline has it all under control until a woman comes into her store wanting Jacqueline to put a hex on her ex-husband. The next thing Jacqueline knows, she's got a bunch of very angry women hell-bent on getting revenge on their exes and anyone else who gets in their way, including Jacqueline. That must be the theme this week, returning ex-fiancés. I only read murder. So do we all. Some things are better. My doctor's office and I are playing phone tag. I'm going to try to call again after this. Good luck catching them. Absolutely can be slippery little devils, as Pretty Woman once said. Absolutely. So frustrating. I Only Read Murder by Will Ferguson. A once famous TV sleuth, an amateur theater production, an onstage murder, a town full of suspects. Miranda Abbott, once known for the crime-solving, karate-chopping church pastor she played on network television, has hit hard times. She's facing ruin when a mysterious postcard arrives summoning her to Happy Rock, a small town in the Pacific Northwest. But when she gets there, nothing is what she expected. In dire straits, she signs up for an amateur production at the Happy Rock Little Theater. On opening night, one of the actors is murdered live in front of the audience, but no one actually saw what happened. They weren't watching the play. Now everyone is under a cloud of suspicion, including the town doctor, the high school drama teacher, an oil-stained car mechanic, an elderly gentleman who may have been in the CIA, and Miranda herself. Clearly, the only way to solve this mystery is for Miranda to summon her skills as television's Pastor Fran, because the show must go on. Particularly if you think you're the center of attention. Now, this one wasn't a historical mystery, but the cover caught me. It's listed as a historical. And you know I love historicals. So we're just going to take a look because we can. 1547. Pedro Gonzalez, a young boy living on the island of Tenerife. This is by Molly Greevy, and it's called Marvelous. Sorry about that. Understands that he is different from the other children in his village. He is mercilessly ridiculed for the hair covering his body from head to toe. When he is kidnapped off the beach near his home, he finds himself delivered by a slave broker into the dangerous and glamorous world of France's royal court. There, Monsieur Sauvage, as he is known, learns French literature and sword fighting, becoming an attendant to the French King Henry II, and a particular favorite of his queen, the formidable Catherine de Medici. Queen Catherine considers herself a collector of unusual people and is fascinated by Pedro and determined to find him a bride. Catherine Raffelin is a beautiful 17-year-old girl whose merchant father has fallen on hard times and offers up his daughter to Queen Catherine. The queen will pay his debts, and his daughter will marry Monsieur Sauvage. Catherine meets Pedro for the first time on their wedding day. Barely recovered from the shock of her father's betrayal, she soon finds herself christened Madame Sauvage by the royal courtiers and must learn to navigate this strange new world and the unusual man who is now her husband. Sort of maybe a take on Beauty and the Beast, but maybe he's not, he just looks like a beast kind of thing. We had started on this fresh fiction page just for something different. But we're looking for more cozy-ish kinds of things here. Ah, we had tapped out. Good job. Closing some extra tabs. Let's see, where were we? What day is it? Where are we? Who's driving? I think we did the Stickleback Hollow one, so we must be on track. Okay. Which is the way it goes? Witches of Candlestick Cove, Cozy Mystery, book number 5 by Elena Blackwood. It is Kindle Unlimited. Mysterious enchanted messages spell trouble for Blair and her coven. Blair Alden has been busy ridding her boyfriend's yard of poisonous to witches hemlock that grows there. She thinks that's the end of her witchy troubles until a cryptic and threatening note is found in her mailbox. Meanwhile, Eric invites Blair to Spare Change Lanes, where he has plans to buy a retail space from one of the tournament bowlers. When a body turns up in the alley's bathroom, Eric's hope to open up his bike shop are dashed. Blair is once again at the scene of a murder and is determined to figure out who could have done it before the blame gets turned on her innocent friend. Blair is going to need help from her police boyfriend Joel and her feisty cat Misty to solve this one. With tensions high between the tournament competitors, there is more suspects than Blair is comfortable with. Now she just has to keep her meddling sisters and her demanding mother out of her hair long enough to find the victim's killer. Miss Austen Investigates by Jessica Bull. You've got my attention. Oh, this is a first in a series. Jane Austen, sparkling, spirited, and incredibly clever, is suddenly thrust into a mystery when a milliner's dead body is found locked inside a cupboard in the middle of a ball. When Jane's brother Georgie is found with some jewelry belonging to the deceased, the local officials see it as an open and shut case, one of which is likely to end with his death. Jane is certain that he is innocent, and there is more to murder than meets the eye. Her investigations send her on a journey through local society as Jane's suspect list keeps on growing, and her keen observational skills of people will be put to the test to solve the crime and save her brother. That's potential. Stephanie Barron did a fabulous series featuring Jane Austen, and I don't usually like mystery series that feature a real person. So I might give that a shot. Spring is springing here in Virginia. My daffodils are in bloom this morning. Oh, how pretty! I think we are expecting another white stuff starting this evening, but it's not going to last very long. Birds Alive by Jen Dodrill, first in the Empty Nesters series, potential series. Peg, widow, mom blogger, and empty nester, is desperate for a new hobby, and after a late-night blog post leaves her dedicated mama birds followers fearful that she's closing her blog, she adopts a reader's suggestion and forms the Empty Nesters Birding Group. On their first outing overlooking beautiful Pensacola Bay, a birder dies from an allergic reaction to peanuts in the bird seed. That's the weapon of choice in the book I'm reading right now. Seed that should be peanut-free. A hurricane barrels toward the Gulf Coast and Beg's overbearing animal collecting but well-meaning mother-in-law crashes Peg's empty nest. After the hurricane passes, Peg checks on her new birder friends and finds one wounded and dying. The assailant is still there and knocks Peg down a steep staircase. Stuck in a boot with a broken foot and still reeling from the two murders, Peg recruits a fellow birder and her mother-in-law to help solve the crime. She even teams up with the detective investigating the well, that's very, very kind of you, whose dimples draw her in a way she hasn't experienced in years. I kind of like the cover and I kind of don't. I like this part, but up here is just dead space and not very I don't know. I like it and I don't. We're supposed to be close to 80 over the next few days and then drop back to 60. This is my favorite time of year. Start of baseball. Absolutely. And I have been watching. Sangria and Secrets. Hang on, coffee. By Agatha Frost. 31st of the Paradale Cafe Cozy Mysteries. Where the sangria flows, secrets are sure to follow. As the warm sun of Sevega kisses the tranquil Spanish shores, a holiday meant for peace and quiet beckons Julia and her family. The picturesque Spanish town, with its whispering olive groves and vibrant plazas, holds a trove of memories, some fond and others shrouded in the shadows of a traumatic past. But their troubles are in the past, aren't they? Amidst the quaint cobbled streets and the welcoming embrace of Aunt Minnie's Hotel La Casa, tensions simmer below the serene facade. The transformation of the once homely hotel into a sanctuary of spiritual retreat is disrupted by the sharp jolt of a mysterious drowning. Chloe Saunders, a glamorous influencer with a taste for drama, is found lifeless in the healing mineral baths in the dead of night. As Julia, with her characteristic blend of intuition and persistence, steps up once more to unfurl the truth, she faces the riddles of a troubled hotel pulsing with secrets. With clues steeped in betrayal, revenge, and false prophecies, they grapple with the twisted narrative spun by an array of vivid suspects connected to the wellness community, each cloaking their true motives. Can Julia sift through the lies and untangle the knots of this Mediterranean mystery? And I apologize, I wasn't on the page. There's the page. That is a very pretty cover. Did that one. Music and Murder. We'll definitely be looking at more of these on Friday because there's just tons of them. This is by Susan Harper. Music so good you'll think you died and went to heaven. Or at least just died. When Greta goes to the local music festival for an evening of entertainment, this is third in the Greta Carriger British Cozy Mysteries by Susan Harper. She gets more than she bargained for when the lead of the headline act dies on stage. Twice. Forced into another murder mystery, she must answer the critical question and find a killer. Was it love, jealousy, or money? And she does it in 122 pages. She's good. All right, closing down some tabs. Hope to see you later. Oh, people are going to go bonkers when they see you. I have to be a good girl today. Yeah, me too. So I hope she doesn't have stuff to tell me. Thanks for this morning. Great to be back. It's good to have you here. Well, that is all we have time for today. Tomorrow, again, we'll be looking at mysteries and thrillers. And always, if there's time, we'll look at more cozies and so forth. I hope you have a very good Monday. Take care of yourself. You first, and then others. But just like the analogy of being in a plane, you got to take care of yourself first before you can help the others. Hope you're reading good things. If you're not reading good things, it's okay to set it aside. There's other things, and you can always come back to it. That's the good thing about books. Have a good day, everyone, and good luck. Exactly. You got it. Be persistent, tenacious. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Om nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.